Good morning.
Good morning, Stacy. Happy Thursday. It's 10 a.m. You
Happy
know what?
Thursday.
What do we
Yes.
do 10 a.m.? We talk
At 10
about
a.m. Yes. I mean, there's a million things we could talk about, as we always do, but we are going to talk about rates.
rates. Oh, hold on. That's my cue to bring the rate
Yep.
conversation in. Rates stay flat as a fritter. So I guess my
Who
doom
wins
and
that?
gloom.
Who wins when we're flat?
I'm gonna take the win. I will take the win because I'm very deficient in the win column right now. So I will take the win on a flat week. Um,
All right.
I think you get the win this week, though. I think I have to concede this because I was all doom and gloom on the Fed's meeting last week in
You
Jackson
were.
Hole, which was
Yep.
a total bust. It just was a fizzle, like pop, pop, fizz, fizz. Yeah. So anyway, rates are still unmoved. They punted until next year for any rate movement and curtailment. So
Yay.
as far
Party
as
time.
yeah, party time. So that doesn't mean you guys can just chill out and not like go get those mortgage applications going. um, Rates change every day, they go up, they go down, but still a great time. We're under 3% in most situations, and it's still just a great time as those rates are right below 3%, hovering around 3%. If you're over 3.5% on your mortgage, talk to us. If you're looking to buy, great time to do it. Make it happen. So
Yep. Love it.
yeah. So we've got a fun little panel today.
I know. I'm
Talk,
super excited.
right? Hashtag teamwork makes the dream work. Um, we're gonna go around the horn and we're gonna bring in uh, loan officers to our team that are all over Washington and servicing lots of clients. And so let's bring in the team members here.
Let's do it. We've been doing the
Angela.
show about a year and we've never done a Loan Depot show because this show's not about us, but we thought it's time to introduce us to all of you.
Yeah. So we
How
have
are you? Good
Angela
morning.
and
Hi.
Jeff and Chelsea all joining us from various parts of Washington. And welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jeff. You sound great with that mic, man.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So um, tell us, first of all, geographically, where are you guys located? Angela, why don't you start?
My office is the Bothell office. I live in kind of Snohomish area, so
Nice, nice. And
North.
then, Jeff, where are you located out of?
I am down here in Olympia, Washington, in the Olympia branch.
Nice. And then, Chelsea?
I am also out of the Olympia branch, but I am in Vancouver.
Vancouver, Washington, not to be confused with BC, our neighbors to the
Yep.
north,
Yep.
right? So, and then Stacy's rocking Bellevue,
Yep.
and I'm no longer in Washington State. So,
Coeur d'Alene. You're
anyway,
rocking Coeur d'Alene for us.
rocking Coeur d'Alene, absolutely. So I wanted to bring you guys in to talk a little bit about mortgage, talk about your guys' own journeys in real estate, and just let people know that Loan Depot is bigger than just Stacy and I. We have how many loan officers now in the state, Stacy?
And we have about 85.
85 of us out there working hard every day, trying to make the reality of home ownership a real thing for people. So, um, first question out there that I love to talk about is like my passion. What products do I like? What is your favorite transaction to do, right? As a loan officer, who wants to start this one?
I will.
Okay.
My favorite transaction is just the first time home buyer. I think when I bought a home, like 12 years ago, I was pretty young and I had no education in the industry. And I think it's just my favorite client to work with because I feel like we can make an impact on their financial standing, and just also educate them. I feel like it's important for them to be educated. And it's also, I think, kind of the funnest, in my opinion, just because they're so excited and it's a big step in their life. And so, yeah, that's my favorite.
Awesome. Jeff, Angela, who's next?
I love VA loans all day long. I'll do any loan, don't get me wrong, but VA is just, it's easy, it's fun. There's some misconceptions out there. I'm always running into misconceptions, and there's the whole education piece and really teaching not only veterans, but the real estate industry that it's a really amazing product.
What's one of the most reoccurring myths out there? Be a myth buster today. What's
Oh
like
gosh,
the one that just like,
that it's the appraisal process is much harder than a conventional loan. And yes, 30 years ago it probably was, but it's not anymore. And you've got some of those old school veteran realtors in the industry that pass that misconception on to newer people. And so you're constantly, nope, that's not the way it is anymore. Yes, I understand in 1990 it may have been that way, but it's not that way today.
yeah, and that's a major hurdle on the real estate agent side of the coin. It's not the consumer centric side of the coin. It's the listing agents that we continuously hear that from. It's mind boggling.
Yep.
So right on. Yes, we love the VA and the VA loans. Jeff, what's your
Mine
go-to?
is just more customer based. I mean, I think any loan can be pretty interesting, and like every loan is a little bit different. So you're gonna have to look up guidelines, which is kind of the fun part of the technical side of our job, is figuring out how to actually do it. But kind of the customers that I can give more of a presentation to and really explain what's going on are people that want the higher touch. That's kind of where I like to focus. I've had clients that just want email and they just want like the bare minimums, and then I basically feel like I'm doing nothing. So you can do that, but I also, I guess it's kind of selfish, but it makes me feel better when I can do more and really explain and help. So that's kind of what makes me feel good and get up out of bed. If I'm just like doing leads and quoting all day long, that's not really for me. But actually getting in there and getting to, talk to people, and referrals are nice because usually it's connected to someone you've already helped, and that's kind of where I like to be.
Gotcha.
Focused. Yeah, love all of it. Cool.
So we have to
I want
thank
to know
Chelsea.
how people. Well, you go, Keith, and I'm going to go next.
Yeah, we have to thank Chelsea for bringing this in, because this topic came up, like, how did we all get started in mortgage? Right? So you guys told us who you like to work with. What's your favorite transaction? Like Angela said, we love all the transactions. Don't get us wrong. But like, how did you end up in mortgage? What was your journey to get here? Licensed loan originator, helping people buy and refinance real estate. What does that look like?
I'll go first because mine's really easy, but my father was a mortgage lender, so I kind of just followed footsteps. So I had a really good example of what the industry was like, what it could do for your personal life as far as flexibility.
Wow, Jeff, you might be our first one. There's kind of a joke where we say no one grows up saying, I'm going to be a mortgage professional when I grow up.
Okay, I didn't grow up saying that. I got to college with no clue of what I wanted to do. Okay. And I said, hey, if I can learn finance and be part of the money, I can like figure out if I want to be in the boating industry or whatever I want to do. So I was a big water skier, so I thought I want to be with Malibu boats. But I don't know anything about boats. I'm not an engineer, so I figured, hey, find the money, and then you can do whatever you want. So
you still ski?
Yeah.
Kind of. Last time I went skiing, I wiped out pretty hard, and the ski hit me in the back of the head, and I actually got staples there, and so I kind of need to be careful with the concussion factor there. So I don't ski.
We're
as
ski
hard.
buddies, dude. But that was the last time I went skiing.
I'm quite this. I love to ski a little.
Old, isn't it?
I like to ski at a level that's more maybe better than I should be skiing at. So,
gotcha. Wow. Yeah, that's no joke, man. It's serious.
Yeah, you might be able to see it. There's I keep a pretty short haircut, but.
Wow. Well, there you go. Growing up in the industry and came to.
But yeah, so no, you just see, my dad would be there for football games, and then he would go back to work afterwards. And I was like, well, that's kind of weird. Like, he kind of seemed like a workaholic, but then he was always there. And then, he had some good success in his career as well. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Interesting you noticed that. Yeah. I mean, we definitely have a job where you can be everywhere and do anything you want, but you're also working 24/7. So it's hard.
Yeah. I mean, you're responsible to finish your day. Yeah. You just get to finish it whenever you want.
Yeah. But you never get a break.
Even if that's 2 a.m.
Right? So.
Yeah.
Even if it's 2:00 a.m. Yes, we've all been there. Angela, how about you?
Oh, so I come from a financial planning background, and I moved up here in 2004, and I went to work for a brokerage firm that shall not be named that was miserable and terrible. My dad sold real estate at the time as a third career in life. I'm a military brat, so I was born and raised in the military. And
you like VA loans, maybe?
Well, I guess, yeah. I have a personal connection to that. I never thought about it like that. So my dad kept saying, "Oh, get in, do mortgages. Well, this was like 2004 or 5-ish, right? Kind of weird times as we're going into that big recession. So I did. It took a while. I went to work for a company that sent me to mortgage school, to the Zenix Mortgage Academy in Georgia. Amazing. I highly recommend it for anybody new to the business. And now I think they do like online stuff. But yeah, and I've been doing this since 2005.
Wow. What's that gal's name?
Casey Cunningham.
Casey Cunningham. Yeah.
She's amazing.
She's a rock star, man.
Yep.
Do not mess with that lady.
She's awesome. And she is this tiny little fierce woman. She's amazing. She's truly an amazing person.
Awesome. Chelsea, how'd you get here?
Well, I'm probably most recent to the party here. So I have actually spent the last 18 years in retail. And I have always wondered what mortgage was like, more or less for my own desire for knowledge and just financial well-being. And, you know, with the house process, as well as how challenging it is now, I think I have always kind of had that, you know, thought in the back of my head what it was like. You know, I went to school for HR. I never grew up being like, oh yeah. So to your point, Stacy, I did not say mortgage is my end game. But thankfully I had a good mentor that kind of talked up mortgage. And, you know, what really drove me was work-life balance. So Jeff, to your point, you know, I have kids. And so this seemed like a good fit for that life. And then it just happened to be that I get to work with people. And that's my true passion, is working with people and being genuine and authentic and empathetic. And so it's an amazing career path. So if there's anyone thinking about that's changing or stuck and need a change, then I think suggest looking into this, because it's been phenomenal for myself and for my family.
Cool backgrounds. Well, I was in law school and needed to pay rent and other things. And my old college roommate was like, hey, so I just landed at World Savings in California as a wholesaler. It's a good gig. So I looked in the newspaper at the time. I mean, I think I've been in this 20 plus years. I think Angela has, maybe not. I don't know. But anyways, back then it was newspaper. And I found the first job that said, we will hire you with no experience. And I was a receptionist for Wells Fargo. That's how I started. And then I saw what the loan officers were doing. And I was like, that's cool. I want to do that. So I did that. And here we are. What about you, Keith?
Wow. I started right out of high school. My mom worked for US Bank at the time. And so I went to work for US Bank, and I closed my first home equity line of credit in September of 2009, and worked on the bank side of the coin through college. And then after college, I went to work for a broker in Seattle, and I helped process, and I managed their correspondent line with a couple subprime outlets, which was kind of fun. And then I flipped over to the wholesale side, right? And once I was in wholesale, I was through wholesale through the mortgage meltdown, and then went back retail, and I've been retail ever since for a non-depository mortgage bank. So that's my favorite space to play in, is the non-depository mortgage bankers. We just have much more fun than the bankers do. And you know, we're freer to do things as far as product is concerned, in my opinion. But yeah, so I've been doing this for 22 years now. So yeah, I was a baby when I started. And no, I grew up in Battleground, Washington, on 60 acres, raising 200 head of cattle a year. I thought I wanted to get out of there and own my own business of some sort. And in a way, mortgage professionals are their own business. But I never said, yeah, I'm going to go into finance. I'm going to go be a mortgage person.
It's just not an industry that people do that in, you know, it's just not. But cool. I love hearing everyone's backgrounds. But for people who don't care so much about us individually, I'm curious to know why you're here. Like what? I want to start with Angela. Angela has been in this group on our team the longest. She came to us from a smaller, very small company, And I remember our first interaction, we were a team of about 8 or 9, I believe. Angela can correct me, but it was small. We were small. We had one office. And Angela clearly said to me, like, I don't like big companies, in her own words. I want to be, at a small company. I understand Loan Depot's fairly large, but this seems like a small group. We're staying small. That we have to grow. That's how we survive as a company. And we have a great platform. So people you build it, they show up, right? That's kind of Loan Depot. Like there's not even recruiting people to show up at our front door. But in Angela's case, because this has grown, larger than any of us probably thought in the Pacific Northwest, what is it? Why are you staying with a larger team and a larger company at this point in time?
So before I was here, I was just shy of 10 years at a small local company that had been around since 1987. They retired and closed their doors, I believe, in 2018 or 19, the owner of the company.
But it was like a place of 10 people, right? Like the whole company?
At our largest, we were probably 20, 25. When I left, we were about 10 or so. I was managing at that point. I have always worked for more local regional companies. I'm not a big box kind of person. And that was probably the scariest thing for me coming to Loan Depot, knowing that it was a full national company, even though we weren't big here in the Northwest. But Stacy has done something really special here we may be really big, and sometimes privately to her, I joke, I'm like, I don't even know 3/4 of the people that are on our team meetings. And I don't like that. It bothers me. But at the same time, Stacy does such a great job of making you feel like we're just our own little special group, even though there's 85 or 100 of us. Like the bigger Loan Depot is out there, and we're just our own little family. And I love that. And everything, all the support and just what Stacy has done up here doesn't make it feel like you are part of some huge conglomerate with all this red tape and all this bureaucracy. Mm-hmm. And that's why I stay, because Stacy is freaking amazing.
Oh, thanks. I didn't ask that for that, but
well, it's true.
Now it seems like I set it all up. It's a big company. I'm a proponent of big companies. I think they're a safe place to work. I think they're stable. I think, when I made the move over, there was lots of acquisitions and whatever. That all happens in our industry. So I wanted to be careful that we were at a company that had a platform that we could stay at and thrive at and not have to move every 2 to 3 years, as also happens in our industry. But yeah, it's super important to me that we have our own little family, right? And we want to be with the right people. So another important thing that we hire people that fit into this culture. So whatever that looks like. But okay, how about Chelsea? You're the newest.
Yeah. So I think to piggyback off Angela, I think I'm not going to name where I worked before on this, but I did work for a big box, a heavy hitter out there. And, I always thought they had a really great culture. And so when I moved careers and started at Loan Depot, my mentor was like, this is a great company. You're going to love it. You're going to love this industry. And you automatically go in skeptical, right? You just changing an industry, something you've done for 18 years and moving into something new. But the welcome I got was amazing. The culture around training and how supported I was amazing. Some of the best I've ever been a part of. And I think what I love most is this is a big company, and that's a benefit for what we can offer and what we can do for our clients, but also how down to earth and supportive everyone is across the company, even some of our higher ups. And some of the calls we're on and just how cool they are and how supportive they are. I think there's something to be said for that. And that's hard to find out there. And I think someone that supports your life and also supports your career and supports you genuinely, it's hard to find. And I think that I'm super lucky, and I think Loan Depot is a great place to be for that very reason.
We're lucky
Awesome.
to have you. I'm glad you joined the
Yes.
team for sure.
I want to know who that mentor is. Sounds
Yeah.
great.
He's awesome.
What about you, Jeff? So Jeff's story is a little unique. He was here, he left, he came back, and in the middle of that, you actually did look at other companies. But
Well, originally,
yeah,
the very beginning of my career was just with a bank. My dad was working at a bank, so I was working with him. Great experience. We left and kind of took a small team to an independent mortgage company, and that was great. We ended up going back to the bank like 2 years later because the team kind of got small, and it's like 2011. People just didn't really get the. It's a different story. They didn't really get the model. They were so used to the bank life. They didn't realize the powers we had, and it was easy to see like, oh, this is just different. So I loved it. My dad and I saw it. We stayed there kind of just the two of us for a while, but then we went back to the bank, and it was great. And I was like, hey, I'm ready. It's been about 4 years. I don't think I want to be this assistant hybrid loan officer. I think I want to do my own thing. So I went back to the independent company, but I moved to Seattle to do it. And just kind of long story short, moved from Seattle back to Olympia, but I really found that I like the independent companies, like the independent mortgage company, non-depository, like Keith says, just because you're quicker. I mean, we had rules about like you can't go out the side door and stuff like that. Like they would really get crazy on you about email on your phone and all this other stuff. So there was a big difference there. And then just the relationships I formed, when I got into Loan Depot, it was iMortgage, and I was doing builder stuff. So I was on Stacy's team, but kind of like separate from it. And then, I left the industry, kind of did some personal exploration, and found out like, oh yeah, I really do want to work super hard. So I came back to the industry where I could work really hard, and now I'm loving it. But just kind of the feel here, not only the type of company because of how we're able to do things, right? Because we're non-depository, and then just the relationships I've made with Stacy, but also in my past seeing like, hey, there's different types. You could be a banker, you can be an independent mortgage officer, you could be a broker. There's different ways you can do what we do, totally different setups, and they have pretty different pros and cons to each of them. And I really like where we are here. I think it's the best kind of no-brainer place to be.
I love that you say that, Jeff, because if anyone is out there watching and they're thinking about the industry, I have actually a whole show about it. If you look up on LinkedIn, there is a place if you're interested in for you, right? But there are different. It's a bank, or it's a builder, or it's a non-bank. We may not be the best fit, and we get that. But I think
the bank was cool because people would just walk in and say, "Hey, I need a loan officer," and I would say, "Oh, hey, guess what I am? I'm here. It's Thursday. Let's do this." But so it's a little different now. You go and find your own customers, and you really try to operate on referral base. And if you get a lead, you pretty much call it as soon as you can, kind of thing. But definitely different worlds, different ways that you set up your business, and depending on your personality type, one is going to be great for you, probably.
Yeah,
you go ahead.
Go for it. Oh, you first.
I was gonna go to a different topic, but I want you to kind of talk about how you feel the support is here, because it's really hard to explain to someone. And coming from me, people might not even believe it, or coming from Keith. So what is it? Because I think we have something really special here.
I don't know if this question is still to me, I'll just grab it because I'm talking right now.
Get it.
I really think the cool thing about our structure is I think you can set it up different ways, but really you guys are available when I need you, and I'm able to seek you out. And I'm not really, the best way to say, like, there's not really micromanagement happening. And
just say it, Jeff, because
for example, like if there's production swings, there's understanding, and there's not necessarily like, oh, hey, you're 1 unit less than last month. What's going on? And not that there's not encouragement and motivation to do better, but I've never gotten any kind of question on any of those fluctuations. And as far as needing help, like we have these question calls that are available. So if you need help on anything, like there's 2 sections of the day, morning and afternoon, where you can get on and ask any questions to a manager. So there's things set up where we can go and seek it out when we need it, and it's not really forced upon us. And that's my favorite thing, because that fits my style. When I'm ready to do it, I'm going to do it, and I'm not going to do it before I'm ready to do it. So this management style really works for the way that I think and the way that whatever my brain is set up. So that's what I've got to say.
Yeah, don't hide the micromanaging thing. I share that with everyone because I am not a micromanager. I don't think Keith is. I don't think Trevor is. No. Actually, I don't think most people that work here are. But if that's what you need, and some people really do need that, we would need to talk about that.
Yeah, this may not be a good fit.
I would need to find you a buddy that's really good at that. It's just not me. I like to hire professionals, independent workers, can take care of themselves and provide amazing support for when they're ready for it. Exactly what you said, Jeff. Yeah, but it's not for everybody. What do you say, Angela and Chelsea, about?
I think the support, it's not just you or Trevor or Keith or what you guys offer here. There's also support from other management, right? Like if you have an underwriting issue or a processing issue or anything like that, there is support. And it's not like, oh, I'm some manager person and you're just a lowly old loan officer. I don't have time for you. If you have a question or a concern and you take your homework, I mean, don't go throw stuff up against the wall and expect for it to stick, right? But if you do your homework and say, hey, underwriting manager, this is my perception on this, and these are the guidelines I've researched to get this information. Why are we coming up with a different opinion? And is there a way to come to some sort of middle common ground? Everybody's willing to do that. And you don't find that, I think, in some places where it's just like, oh, well, I just made my decision and it is what it is and you can just live with it. Here, it's more of, okay, you took the time to go research how you interpreted the guidelines, because let's be real, underwriting is an art and a science. It's not black and white. There's a lot of gray inside there. And the longer you do this business, the more you understand that there's lots of shades of gray. And so if you can take that information and communicate it, people are willing to listen to you and say, oh, okay, let's see if we can't come up with something that works. Because we're all here to close loans, right? We're all here to help home buyers get into homes or build investment portfolios or do a remodel on their home. That's what we're all here to do, regardless of what our job title is. So that kind of support is super awesome. So I appreciate all of that.
Yeah, I would say I agree with both. Everything they both said, agree with. I think that for me, like Jeff said, there's no micromanaging. There is only support, and it's a team atmosphere. And everyone on the team wants everyone to succeed. And I think the biggest thing for me is every win is celebrated. There's industries out there where it's, what more can you give me? What more can you give me? Right. That's not enough. Hey, good job. But here I feel like, Stacy, you do a really good job, and Keith, you do an awesome job. We celebrate every win. Hey, we're a little slow. This is why we expect this. But you still celebrate every win that everyone gives. And I think that is a huge part to a solid team culture.
Yeah, I really operate from a place of abundance. I don't even know where it came from. I wish I had this mentor that I could remember this big experience from, but I don't. But everyone out there, research it, watch YouTube videos on it. It's a thing. And when you really grasp it, you do realize that there's enough business out there for everybody at every company and all the different bank, non-deposit, whatever. It's all there. Everyone relax. We don't need to fight with each other. We actually can operate as a team, which I think is really unusual for our group, right? Because we have all these branches and we all operate as one team. We don't have branches fighting with each other or the Seattle team against the Gallup team. And that is the normal industry. That's what you walk into at every other company, even at this company in a different.
Well, you can't work with everybody. I mean, let's be real. Yeah. I can't work with everybody, and my personality it doesn't fit for everybody. So I'm like, I'm happy to refer out to someone else on my team if it's not a good fit.
Place of abundance, right? Without maybe even realizing it. There are people out there that don't. Their team is the Kirkland team, and don't touch my team, right?
But it's an amazing place to be there, Angela, versus, oh no, I have to get this and do, there's a total different place you operate from personally, to be able to say, hey, this is not for me, it's not for you, all good, on to the next one.
Yeah. But I'm also not willing to just throw them to the curb either. If I can find them hey, I'm not the right person for you, but I know someone who might be, I am happy to do that. That's cool.
And we all make each other stronger, right? So we all can share state licenses. We can all help each other with questions. You like VA? Some people really are scared of VA, right? So they know they can reach out to Angela. Some people don't like doing all these detailed 2-hour meetings. Well, now we know Jeff loves it. So these are educated.
I don't know if I like it. This is just the way I do it, and it's the way it is now.
No, I'm kidding. But yeah, it's a good. I wish more of our industry operated in this fashion. That it was more about all of
My
it.
dad was the king of the 2-hour loan application, and we're like, "What are you doing in there?" This is when people would come into your office and sit with you, and it's like, "What's going on?" But stuff was always had smooth closings, got everything up front, and that's how you do it. So.
Yeah.
And we're really fortunate. I think Angela brought it up, or someone did, about ops. Like, we are really close with our ops team, and which helps, right? I think refis are even getting done in like 3 weeks right now. So when turn times are extended, it puts 2 weeks. All right, Angela had a refi in 2 weeks. So
I disclosed on a refinance last Monday. Docs are going out today.
Bam.
That's amazing. But that's why we're all so happy, right? I tell ops that all the time. We are good because you are good. And so we're really fortunate that we have us, but we have our larger Loan Depot group that's great.
And they really are. I've been here 4 years, and we have a really great operations team, and the people that support us behind the scenes. And we've had some growth and some, growing pains, but that's what happens when you grow. You have growing pains, and you kind of learn from them, and you work your way through. But our operations people, they kick butt. They really do. And honestly, I couldn't do what I do and be the face that I am for my clients if it wasn't for my processor and my assistant. Seriously, they're my right and left hand. I cannot survive without them. I need them every day.
Yeah.
And when they're not around, they're either on vacation or taking a day off or whatever, which is well deserved. Don't get me wrong. I kind of freak out a little bit. I'm like, oh my God, one of them's missing. What do I do today?
Yep. We love Steph. We love Shane.
Yep.
Everyone leave them alone. Don't take them.
They belong to me.
I'm not giving up last names. Yeah.
Not sharing.
Yeah, not sharing. So.
Any final questions, Keith?
I've got a couple final questions. Okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee.
Anything that's decaf.
Tea. Okay. Android or Apple?
Apple.
Android.
Apple.
Okay. Oh, wow. We flipped again. Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Mountains.
Beach.
Both.
Beach. Gotcha. Okay. Final question. Winter or summer?
Summer.
Winter.
Summer.
Wow.
Fall.
Yeah.
No, summer.
Anything besides summer. I don't care for the heat.
You're like my youngest son. He hates the heat too.
You're like a famous lake person.
I know.
You don't like sun.
I grew up water skiing by myself all summer, and I got excited to go back to school every year. So that's my social life was not really a summer social life.
Oh, wow. We just went deep with Jeff.
That's right.
It's all right,
Welcome
Jeff.
to
My
my life.
youngest son is just like you. He hates anything over 70 degrees.
I just don't think that well in the heat as much as the rest of the year. It seems like I have a better attitude. So
I feel that.
Another good fact. On hot days, don't call Jeff Lathrop.
Good to know.
Or call him to check in on him.
There you go. Even better.
Or we'll find a boat and we'll go
team.
skiing together, and then it's all good.
That's all good.
Right on. Well, that's all we had today. So, I want to thank all you guys for coming in, and you guys are going to actually exit the show with us. So thank you for joining us here on Real Estate Now. Join us next Thursday when we're joining another teammate, Jan Matheson, and we're going to check in with Hope Village and how Haiti is doing. They've gone through the ringer here in the last month. So join us next week where we start our season of giving with Jan Matheson and Hope Village International. We'll catch you guys next week. Have a good one.
Bye.